Hi, I'm Kim Turcotte, intuitive empowerment coach and magic maker, and I help women reconnect with their authentic selves and step into their magic through empowered self-care, personal growth, and sacred living. Welcome to today's video, and I have a question for you. Have you ever taken a look at your life and thought, my life is pretty good, I should really feel happy, but yet deep inside you feel disconnected or stuck? You're not alone. So many women who have an amazing looking life from the outside actually feel disconnected and a deep longing for something more. Why is that? That's what we're going to cover today in this video. We're going to look at why women feel disconnected, remembering our childhood magic, reclaiming our magic through intentional living, and 3 easy, intentional steps that you can take every day to help you reconnect with your magic. Let's get started. So, why do women feel disconnected? I think the biggest reason we as women feel disconnected is because we have been conditioned to put everyone else before ourselves. Everyone else's needs come first. I don't know about you, but I grew up in a house where all the women role models in my life, my mom, my aunts, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, they all prided themselves on giving all that they had for everyone that they loved. Now, they all had an undercurrent of anger and frustration and victimhood going on, but it was so important to them because that's how they were raised. You can see it's a generational thing. My great-grandmother, my grandmother, my aunts, my mom, that was modeled for me. So I grew up really thinking I had to give everything to everyone else in order to be a good girl. So when we do that, when we give away, we stop living for ourselves. We disconnect from who we are. And that's why we feel so disconnected, right? Because we're giving everything that we have, we're giving all of our energy and resources to other people. And we're not saving or claiming any of it for ourselves. And so what happens over time is because we're so outwardly focused on all the other people in our lives, we become disconnected with our own selves and we lose our magic. If you think about when you were a kid, when we're born and when we're in our early developmental years, we are full of magic. Think about that. When you see a young kid, I would say anyone under the age of maybe 10, right? 10-ish, maybe 8. I don't know. Somewhere between 8 and 10, I think we start to lose our magic because our conditioning really kicks in at that space. But think about kids at those younger ages, right? They're on fire. They are not afraid of anything. They are not necessarily really worried about the rules. They're curious about everything. They ask a million questions. They're fascinated by nature, by bugs, by birds, by pets. They are so curious and engaged and present in their life. And it's so amazing to watch them, and they're filled with so much joy because they're so connected. And then, as the conditioning happens, as they're told, no, don't act that way, stop being curious. Oh, you got to be afraid of that. Stop asking so many questions. Don't be so loud. Why are you being like that? All of those messages that we get, especially as women, good girls don't act that way. That chips away at that natural exuberance and magic that we're born with. And over time, I would say probably by the time we hit our teens, we're well on our way to being disconnected from our magic. And that just continues over time. And unless we're really intentional about reconnecting, and putting up some boundaries about how much we're going to give to others, we're going to feel disconnected and lost. And I think what happens is, I know this happened to me, like we hit midlife. And for women, I think our midlife crisis is, who am I and where did I go? Because we've lost ourselves. And so, how do we reclaim that magic? How do we start to reconnect with who that little girl was when we were young and curious and passionate and joyful in life? I think a really simple way is just being more intentional about life. And I know that so many women who are going to be watching this are going to think, I don't have time to take care of me. But I'm going to argue that unless you start taking care of you, you're not really being the best possible you. And therefore, you're not really showing up for others in the best way that you could. So I want you to think about taking care of yourself and reconnecting with who you are as not only a gift for you, but a gift for everyone that you're connected to. Because when you are in your magic, that ripples out to those around you. So before I get into some key elements of how you can be more intentional so you can step back into your magic, I want to just invite you to like and subscribe if you are enjoying this content so that you can be notified each time a new video like this is uploaded. Okay, let's dive in. When we live more intentionally, it deepens our connection with ourselves, because each time we choose something through that intentional lens, we are being present in the moment. And each time we're being present in the moment, we're reconnecting with ourselves. We're grounding into who we are. So how do we do this? There's a, seriously, there's a million different ways, but I'm going to share with you 3 simple daily tips that you can do, and they only take a couple of minutes each. So the first one, and this is something that I do every day. The first one is, when you get up in the morning, now I do this before I even get out of bed, just set an intention for your day. Really be present with yourself. Feel into your body. Take a few deep breaths. Get settled in. Try to clear your mind of everything else. I like to do this first thing when I wake up, because when I do it from that space, it's before my rational kind of linear mind kicks in. I'm still in that liminal space between sleep and waking, and it's kind of a magical energy. And so that's when I set my intention for the day. And it can be super simple, like, today I commit to having an amazing day. Right? Now that sounds simple and you're like, how's that going to change my day? But the more that you do this, as you build this habit day after day after day, throughout the day, you start to remember. Your mind gets trained and you start to remember, oh yeah, I set that intention, when things start to go off course, and it pulls you back to center. And so again, it's helping you to come back to you. That's what all these intentional things are about. It's about calling you back to you. So again, simple intention. Now, say you know that you have a big meeting at work, you have a project that's due, and 3 people are going to be out today. And so you know you're going to have a really kind of busy and potentially chaotic day. You might want to set in an intention, something like this. Today, I choose to be grounded, and I know that anything that comes my way, I can handle easily and effortlessly. That way, when shit starts to go sideways during the day, that intention that you set kicks in, and it can help pull you back to that moment of remembrance when you were lying in bed, feeling very connected to yourself. Okay. And it's as simple as that. The next thing that I want you to do is midday, maybe on your lunch break, hopefully you take one, you just do a check in and reaffirm that intention. Just how's my day going? How am I feeling? Pay attention to where you're carrying your stress, right? Is it in your shoulders? Are your shoulders up here? Is it in your belly, right? Are you shallow breathing? Take a few deep breaths. It's a quick check in, literally less than a minute. It can be longer if you want to just do some intentional breathing and really grounding in. If you want to go outside, maybe take a little walk, feel into your body. You can, all of those things are great, but it really is meant to be something simple so that you're able to commit to doing it, because consistency is really key here. Okay. And then the final piece is that you create some sort of bedtime or nighttime ritual. Now I'm going to describe what my ritual is. And like, I don't do all of this every night. There are some parts of it that I do every night, but I do something every single solitary night. So this is what my night looks like. After I have dinner and I take some time, usually I do allow myself to watch some TV, right? Maybe disconnect. But then before I go to bed, I want to be intentional and I want to reconnect with myself. So I spend a few minutes, sometimes only 5 minutes journaling, sometimes a half hour or more, depending on what's going on. So every night I journal. And that ranges from me dumping out things that happen during the day or making a gratitude list. I just allow myself to be where I'm at, and whatever comes through comes through. Then I get ready for bed. Right before I'm about to get into bed, I'm a magic maker, so I have a fireplace in my bedroom, and in that fireplace I have a massive cauldron. And every single night I light a candle. I use the small, like 4-inch chime candles, and I have them in all different colors because if you are familiar with magic, maybe I'll do a video on that sometime. Candle magic, different colors represent different energies. So I just choose a color that aligns with whatever intention I'm setting. And usually I either set an intention to release something that happened during the day, or most of the time, I'm actually setting an intention for the next day, how I want my day to go, or what's going on and whatever I'm focusing on. So I'll choose the candle, I'll light the candle, I'll say some little thing, right? Whatever comes to me. Again, nothing formal. Then I light some incense. I have a small sound bowl. I chime the bowl I chime it 9 times, if you must know. And I just really am so present in that moment. And then once that's done, I pull a couple of oracle cards that I'm just getting information about the intention that I set, right? And it always amazes me how spot on it is and how supportive it really is when it comes through. And that's my nightly ritual. Now, I understand that usually takes me, all in total, including journaling, probably anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes. So you might not have that amount of time. So you create the evening or bedtime ritual that works for you. But the point is that when you take a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes midday, a few minutes in the evening, and you take that time to reconnect with yourself, you are going to start to experience more joy and magic in your life. I guarantee you, because just those 3 touch points will help you to reconnect with yourself. Think about it. Every relationship takes work, right? We need to engage in a relationship for that relationship to thrive. And how much time are you giving to your relationship with you. So many of us, for so long, my answer was none or hardly any, right? Now I make it a point to do it daily, and my life has radically shifted because of that. So I invite you to start reconnecting with yourself. Nurture that relationship with yourself. And all it takes is those 3 quick, intentional check-ins, rituals or mini rituals, affirmations throughout the day. It just so happens that I've created a free guide that you can download using the link below called 3 5-minute daily rituals. And it contains simple, exactly what it says, simple rituals, different than the ones I've shared today. Go ahead, click on the link below, download it, start to include those rituals. Again, they only take 5 minutes or less. So it's something that everybody can incorporate into their lives. I want this to be easy for you because you matter. Your magic matters. And it's time for you to reconnect and step into your magic. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to like and subscribe and maybe share it with a friend who's also on their own path of personal growth and healing. I'm so grateful for your presence here today. And remember, stepping into your magic doesn't have to look perfect. It all begins with one intentional step at a time to reconnect with your authentic self and begin living your most magical, joyful, and abundant life. Many blessings on your path. Have a magical day. Blessed be.